It began with a refusal. In the year 722, most of the Iberian Peninsula was already conquered. The Visigothic kingdom was gone. Cities had fallen. Nobles had surrendered. The Reconquista did not begin with a kingdom. It did not begin with a crown or an army. Many believed resistance was pointless. But in the mountains of Asturias, one man said no. His name was Pelagius. He had no kingdom, no formal army, just a few hundred men, and one single decision: Tis, Ins, Era. The Umayyad Caliphate was one of the most powerful forces of its time. They had crushed entire kingdoms in a matter of years. Spain had fallen fast. To them, northern Iberia was insignificant. Just mountains. Just a few rebels. It was nothing worth their serious attention. Their plan was simple: send a force, crush the resistance, and move on. But Pelagius understood something critical. He could not fight them on open ground. He could not win with numbers, so he chose terrain. And he chose patience. This was a choice that would echo through history. Covadonga is not a battlefield. It is a trap. Imagine a narrow valley with steep cliffs on both sides, covered in dense forest and rocky slopes. There's limited visibility and limited room for movement. An army entering this space cannot deploy properly. Their columns stretch out, communication breaks down, and heavy troops become a liability. Pelagius knew every path, every hiding spot, every rock that could be used as a weapon. This was not going to be a battle of swords. It was going to be a battle of space, a masterclass in using the land itself as your greatest ally. The forces involved paint a stark picture of David versus Goliath. Pelagius commanded somewhere between 300 to 500 men. They weren't professional soldiers. They were hunters, farmers, and a few former Visigoth soldiers who had escaped the initial conquest. They were lightly equipped, eagerly mobile, and their weapons were simple: spears, short swords, bows, slings, and even stones. The Umayyad force was significantly larger, numbering in the thousands. These were experienced troops with proper armor, discipline, and overflowing confidence. But they were heavy, slow, and completely unfamiliar with the treacherous terrain they were about to enter. The Umayyad column marches into the valley. They see nothing. There is no enemy in sight, no movement, just an unsettling silence. Then it begins. Stones rain down from above. Arrows strike the front ranks, specifically targeting officers. The entire column grinds to a halt. There is no space to maneuver, no room to form a battle line or charge. The enemy remains invisible, striking from the shadows of the mountainside. The confidence of the invaders begins to crack, replaced by confusion and a growing sense of dread. On the left side of the valley lies a dense forest. This is where Pelagius placed his most mobile fighters. They attack in small, disciplined groups. They hit their targets and then disappear back into the trees. They hit again. Their focus is surgical. Commanders, standard-bearers, messengers. Every loss magnifies the chaos within the Umayyad ranks. When the invaders try to push into the forest to engage them, they fail. The ground is uneven. Visibility is almost zero, and their formations completely collapse. This isn't combat anymore. It's psychological warfare, a constant, draining harassment that chips away at their morale. The right flank is even worse. Here, steep cliffs are dotted with caves and natural platforms hanging directly above the narrow path. From these positions, Pelagius's men unleash a relentless storm of rocks and spears down onto the column. The attacks are constant. There is no safe direction. Soldiers fall, horses panic and throw their riders, and men slip on the rocky ground, dying without ever seeing the face of their enemy. Fear spreads through the ranks faster than any physical wound. The valley, once a path to victory, has become a tomb. Just as the Umayyad forces begin to break, attempting a disorganized retreat, Pelagius commits his center. This is not a wild charge. It is a controlled, disciplined advance. His men emerge from their hiding places, not to pursue, but to block the narrow path out of the valley. Now, the enemy cannot advance, and they cannot retreat. They are trapped. The entire valley has become a killing zone, and the hunter has become the hunter. there is no escape. Panic and collapse follow swiftly. Orders cannot be heard over the chaos. Signals are lost. Units begin to act independently, driven by pure survival instinct. Some soldiers try to scramble up the sheer cliffs, only to fall to their deaths. Others run deeper into the valley, where they are hunted down one by one. What began as a simple punitive expedition has devolved into a complete rout. The disciplined army has been reduced to a terrified mob, completely at the mercy of the terrain and its masters. Militarily, the Battle of Covadonga was a small engagement, but strategically, its impact was enormous. The Umayyads were defeated, not by a superior army, but by terrain, strategy, and the sheer will to resist. Palladius and his men survived. His following grew. From this small victory, the kingdom of Astorius was born, a tiny Christian foothold in a conquered land. The Reconquista, this centuries-long effort to reclaim the peninsula, begins right here, not with a grand conquest, but with a single act of defiance. Empires fall not when they are defeated everywhere, but when one person, in one place, proves they can be resisted. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into history, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more.